Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is English with Fee and I am Teacher Fee. I am here to walk with you in your English learning journey. Please subscribe, like, share and comment down below if you have any questions you'd like me to answer. In today's lesson, we are going to look at punctuation marks. The punctuation marks we are going to look at are period, question mark, comma, semicolon, the colon, apostrophe, parenthesis, and the exclamation mark. In speaking, we use pauses and the pitch of the voice to make what we say clear. Punctuation plays a similar role in writing, making it easier to read. There are rules of punctuation that have to be followed. Each punctuation mark has to be used appropriately. The first punctuation mark we are going to look at is the period, also known as the full stop. This is probably the most straightforward one. It denotes or shows the end of a sentence. A full sentence is considered as one that is complete and declarative. How do we use the period? First, we use it at the end of a sentence. For example, the roses were delivered today. The second use of the period is in abbreviations such as in names or titles. For example, when we don't want to write the word doctor in full, we can write DR as the abbreviation for doctor. When we write the abbreviation DR, we need to put the period at the end of R to show that that is the abbreviation for doctor. For example, Dr. Alex isn't in today. Let us look at more sentence examples. She is a strong woman. I haven't seen anyone. I saw Dr. John in the morning. Mr. Brown is in charge. The second punctuation mark we are going to look at is the question mark. How do we use the question mark? We add this punctuation at the end of a statement to indicate that you are actually inquiring about something. This is how it looks like, and it is added whenever one asks a question in writing to show that the question has been asked. What are we doing here? How long is the drive from the airport? Could you please listen? Which color would you like? When are they coming? At the end of all these statements, we have a question mark. That means we are inquiring about something. The third punctuation mark we are going to look at is the comma. It is used in a sentence to show a pause. It may connect two parts of a sentence or else separate items in a list. That means we use the comma in two ways. The first one to separate items in a list or to connect two or more separate parts of a sentence. Commas are generally used to make a piece of text more reader-friendly, as without them, a reader may become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of uninterrupted text. Let us look at sentence examples. The lady has apples, mangoes, cherries, and kiwis in the basket. The comma in this sentence is used to separate lists. So we have a list of fruits, that is apples, mangoes, cherries, and kiwis. Since he arrived, he has been resting. We have two parts of a sentence. Since he arrived and he has been resting. The two parts of this sentence are separated by a comma. The dog ran past the tallest tree, which was dry and brown. Here we also have two parts of a sentence that have been separated by a comma. The last one. Get the yellow, blue, pink, and green ones. That means we have a list of things that are coded in colors. We have yellow, blue, pink, and green. This sentence, we are using the comma to separate lists. The semicolon is the fourth punctuation mark we are going to look at. It is used to separate complicated information in a list or to link two independent clauses that refer to similar ideas together. It also divides lists, acting as a comma, but allowing for greater organization and clarity. Let us look at sentence examples so that we can fully understand how to use the semicolon. Alice loves apples. Grace loves oranges. So here we have two independent ideas. Alice, who loves apples, and Grace, who loves oranges. We are connecting these sentences by using a semicolon. She calls it the bathroom. I call it the loo. They always vacation in Africa. They love going on safari. In the last example, we are using the semicolon to separate lists. As far as traveled through the United States, I've visited Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco, California. The fifth punctuation mark we are going to look at is the colon. How do we use the colon? Firstly, we use it to introduce a list of items. For example, the university specializes in 3 courses: education, psychology, and sociology. They wanted to tour 3 countries: China, Thailand, and Singapore. The other use is to separate 2 independent clauses when the second explains or illustrates the first. In such usage, the colon functions in much the same way as the semicolon. We had 2 choices then: stay or drive at night. Here we have 2 independent clauses, but we are using the colon to separate them. The siblings are all into instruments. Dan is a pianist, Lucy a violinist, and George a drummer. A dolphin is not a fish. It is a warm-blooded mammal. The last use of the colon is to emphasize a phrase or single word at the end of a sentence. For example, 5 continents, 3 dozen countries, over 100 cities. This was the trip of a lifetime. She asked for only one thing: understanding. He had only one hobby: eating. In these 3 sentences, the last phrase or word is the one that is most emphasized. So we use a colon to separate the first part of the phrase and the last part, which is the one that we want to emphasize on. The exclamation mark is the next punctuation mark we are going to look at. It is usually used after an interjection or exclamation to indicate strong feelings or to show emphasis. It is a terminal punctuation. That means it is used at the end of a phrase or at the end of a sentence. As such, it should not be followed by a period or a question mark. For example, "Get out!" the man yelled. "What are you doing?" the boss shouted. "No, we don't want to go to the party." "Wow, I can't believe I ran into her there." "No, I forgot my homework again." All these sentences show strong feelings, and such we are using the exclamation mark to denote that. The apostrophe. This punctuation mark has 3 main uses. The first one is to indicate possession. For example, Mary's job is very exhausting. That means the job belongs to Mary. So we say Mary's job. We add apostrophe and S to the word Mary to show possession. He took over her mother's duties. The course was her sister's recommendation. Which is your teacher's desk? The second use is to indicate an omission of letters or numbers. For example, when we are talking about years like 1999, we can use apostrophe and 99 to omit 1 and 9, but the apostrophe 99 still means that is 1999. The 1960s, we can use apostrophe and 60 and then add an S to omit 19. We also have different contractions like I have listed them below. The third one, we have to separate the S from plural letters or numbers and abbreviations followed by periods. For example, she scored A's throughout high school. The number has two fours. The doctor's car was completely damaged in the accident. The last punctuation mark we're going to look at is the parentheses. The are always used in pairs. They allow a writer to provide additional information. For example, the mayor and his assistant traveled by private jet. We could have said the mayor traveled by private jet, but in the parentheses we have and his assistant. That provides more information that his assistant was together with him. The employees received a good bonus, $500. In the parentheses, we have $500. This tells us exactly how much the employees received as bonus. We have several other uses of the parentheses. For example, in abbreviations and acronyms. Grace has been the CEO. CEO is the abbreviation for Chief Executive Officer for the last 7 years. Also, when we're writing time zones, they are enclosed in parentheses following the time. For example, the interview will be held at 11 a.m. GMT. We have to know exactly which time zone we are using. In this case, we have GMT. Number 3, the telephone area codes are sometimes also enclosed in parentheses. For inquiries, please call me at 212-465-9090. So the area code here is 212. Thank you all for listening to my lesson. That is all we had time for today. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Till next time, have a lovely time and goodbye.